Dr. Edgar Lungu, has decided to exercise their rights and appealed the decision that was made by the South Gauteng, Pretoria, in fact, the High Court, in which they granted the government of the Republic of Zambia an order to repatriate the remains of the former president of the Republic of Zambia, that is Edgar Changwa Lungu. So what is the meaning of this exactly? Now that we know that the family has appealed, I think let's deal with the appeal as well as also the implications on this live broadcast. Greetings and welcome on your lovely channel. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. So with me here, I've got an application for leave to appeal. And it's written as follows: be pleased to take notice that the first to seventh applicant, the applicant intends to apply for leave to appeal against the whole judgment and order made by His Lordship, Mr. Justice Ledwaba, AGP, His Lordship Modau, ADJP, and Her Ladyship, Portrayal J, the full court, delivered on 8th day of August 2025. Please take notice further that the applicant applies for leave to appeal in terms of section 17(1) I and or section 17(1) 2 of the Superior Courts Act 10 of 2023. Please take notice further that the applicant applies for leave to appeal to the Supreme Court of Appeal in terms of section 16(1) 2 of the Superior Courts Act 10 of 2013. Please take notice further that the legal or factual grounds upon which the applicants rely for the application for leave to appeal against the full judgment and order of the full court are the following: the full court erred in granting prayers 1 to 7 of the order. The full court erred in granting prayer 4 of the order, which prayer does not align with the purported agreement as set out in Annexure FAA 7, in that it does not make provisions for the family to repatriate remains of the late President Lungu. Annexure, it continues. I think I don't have time to read all of that. So the matter is between Esther Lungu, who is the first applicant, Betha Lungu, the sister to Edgar Lungu, second applicant, Tasila Lungu, third applicant, Dalieso Lungu, fourth applicant. I think it's the entire family of Dr. Edgar Lungu. They are appealing the matter that was handed down by the Pretoria High Court. I had indicated that it was too early for the Zambian government to actually enforce the order of the Pretoria High Court, and I indicated that there was high probability that the family can actually consider appealing this matter to the higher court. Remember, they lost this matter. There was a consensus within the judges of the Pretoria High Court, which means all the judges agreed to actually grant all the prayers to the government of the Republic of Zambia. Now, going to the Supreme Court, the lawyers of the family of Edgar Lungu have to work extra hard to the extent a chance to actually win this case. I think with good lawyers, it's 50-50. they can indeed win this case, because remember here, when we talk of this application is made in the courts of South Africa, not the courts of Zambia. It is made in the courts of South Africa, of which the constitution of South Africa is totally different from the constitution of Zambia in terms of its application of the Bill of Rights. To a certain degree, the family of the late Edgar Lungu may actually present a strong case, especially around human rights, and make a compelling actually arguments that the courts of South Africa are supposed to rely on the constitution of South Africa rather than relying on the constitution of Zambia, because the jurisdiction of the matter is in South Africa, and as much as they are dealing with a Zambian, but he died in South Africa, and also especially if the rights of the deceased are also to be considered and ventilated, and a strong lawyer make a compelling the case, they stand a chance to actually win this case. Equally so, also the government, but it has to prove quite a number of issues. They say the burial of the late President Edgar Lungu is in the interest of the public. Does the interest of the public supersede the interest of the family? Who owns that particular body? Who is supposed to decide, especially on the body of the deceased? And also, are the words of the deceased supposed to be undermined, as well as also the wishes, as well as the wishes also of the family? Are they supposed to be set aside, and then the interest of the public, which in this case does not own the former late president? So these issues, but as this plays out publicly, remember Edgar Lungu, I think it's more than 60 days in the freezers, still, his remains kept, not resting, even in his death. One would have expected that the men the family should have at least forgotten the matter and moved on by now. But just imagine, the dark cloud is still on them. They have to mourn for their loved one. Equally so, they have also to fight to make sure that the interest of the deceased are actually at the end of the day taken into consideration by a foreign court that is in South Africa. So and this goes to underscore how determined the family of Edgar Lungu is, especially in making sure that the rights of the late Edgar Lungu are actually adhered to. Now, I foresee a scenario if this case goes to superior courts, maybe up to the Constitutional Court, and the Zambian government wins this matter, I foresee some form of boycott, especially from the family. There are beliefs, especially from especially the sister of the late Edgar Lungu, that the government wants to tamper around the body of the former president. And she strongly believes in that, to such an extent that when the judgment was made in favor of the government of Zambia, we saw the woman breaking out, crying, to show, the extent of pain that she felt. She felt she had lost the case. So it is really a trying time for both parties in Zambia. But should this matter reach this far, I think I've always stated from the very onset, the moment I heard about this issue, that I think instead of going to the courts, negotiations were the best a platform for the late president of the Republic of Zambia. And also, I think somewhere, somehow, this notion that the interest of the family are undermined by the interest of the state, to me, it is alarming, especially when it comes to the deceased. I think it should be the other way around, but they say their constitution says so. It's quite a dramatic event under normal circumstances. When someone passes away, when someone dies, the expectation is that that person should be laid to rest. I mean, as soon as possibly that can be, and we shouldn't expect this back and forth kind of fighting. The fact that the family of Lungu is appealing to the higher courts shows their determination that they don't want to go the direction of the court. They are strongly objecting to the direction of the court. Now, that on its own is a the clearest indication that of their resentment, especially they feel their rights have been undermined. It's even by the courts in South Africa. And also I must say that I was also surprised to learn that the court decided to side with the government of Zambia. I was expecting the other way around. Let me see what are the comments, especially from Zambians, how they feel, prominent Zambians. Now, let me go to Joseph Kalimbe. Last time I also quoted him. He says, family of former President Lungu have appealed the judgment by the South African court in Pretoria. It means the body of the former president will not be brought to Zambia until the appeal is heard in South Africa. Very sad time for our country. I think I can say that numerous times. It's quite very, and looking at the money that would have to be spent in this appeal back and forth, it will be a lot of money. I can attest to you that would be spent at the end of the day. But it is what actually the family wants and hope for. So there is absolutely nothing that we can do except to follow this very, very painful exercise that we are watching. Let me also read what has been posted by a popular Zambian, Sishua. He said he won't see the body, not just yet. The family of former President Edgar Lungu has launched an appeal in the South African Supreme Court. Until the appeal is determined, the judgment of the Pretoria High Court is suspended, and Lungu's prized remains cannot be repatriated. You can see that Zambia is strongly divided on this particular matter. I think what Sishua is actually giving an impression that the current president is in. I mean, what he wants to see is the body. Let me see the comments of the people underneath. Someone saying, out of the interest, what's so important about HH seeing the body and handling the funeral of the former president? What's at stake? I am confused. The other one says, other sources are saying appeal was thrown out, and I have not seen any other credible news organizations talk about the appeal. Are you sure that the appeal has been accepted? And someone says, let Lungu rest in Zambia. The country was president in. the country was born in. All this is becoming embarrassing. Like what I have said, that it is really embarrassing to see the nation being divided, teared apart by the death of someone. Now there is someone who actually commented saying filing an appeal does not suspend or halt the enforcement of a court's earlier decision. Filing an appeal by itself does not suspend or halt the judgment of the lower court remains invalid. These are the opinions that are playing out. Someone responding to Sishua saying, you are a bitter person, your dream won't come through. The other one says, document being circulated actually indicates to be an application for leave to appeal. The appeal itself can only be filed if the leave is granted. So technically, there is no appeal yet. I think that's a lie. That is not true. I mean, even if the leave to appeal is not granted, the party can, the family can still go ahead and file papers to the High Court. That is just a procedure. Thank you very much for watching us. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, guess what, you become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support this channel by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars. Okanqube Omhlabane is signing out. Let me live and love you. Let's meet on the other side of the live broadcast. It will be